Micah was killed, 3 years old. And ang kalungkot-lungkot na nabanggit ng ating ginagalang na senator, shit happens. Aldrin Pineda, ang tanong niya, bakit ako binaril ni Omar? And in the last 30 seconds, let me present sa 312 na sinabi ni Randy De Los Santos, nung lumalago na po ang programa ng 200, naggawa ko ng munting katanungan, ilan ang nagdodroga? Ang sagot nila, 120. Ibig sabihin, merong 80 walang kinalaman sa droga, inosente. Ang sunod kong tanong sa kanila, sino ang nagdodroga nung pinaslang o pinatay sila ng pulis o civilian police? Wala po nagdodroga sa amin nung pinatay sila. Ang isa pang magic number, 0. Sa kanilang salaysay, hanggang sa ngayon, ipaglalaban nila, walang pinaslang. Sino po ang mga principal? Alamin ho natin sa quad hearing. If I may just share.
Is that, Father? What is
These are
that?
the list
Sige,
of
go
the
ahead.
members that we have.
Members ninyo ng programa, programa paglihom.
329 names. Pinaslang lahat. Lahat ay may affidavit. Lahat ay pwede magpatotoo. Lahat po ay may pamilya na wala ng breadwinner. At ngayon ay naghihikahos, ngunit lumalaban ang hangad, katarungan sa bansang makadiyos. Hindi dapat palakpakan ang pumapatay. Dapat ito kinakalinga at hinihilom. Marami po salamat.
Father, ganito. Kaya kayo maraming alam sa issue na ito kasi kayo ang nagpapatakbo ng programa, anong name?
Program Paghilom po.
Program Paghilom. At dahil sa ikaw nagpapatakbo niyan, ano yung interaction mo? Doon sa 312 families o sa 200 families?
Both po.
Ilan? How many families ngayon ka-interaction mo?
We have 312 families.
312 families yung ka-interaction mo. Kasi
Yes,
namatayan sila lahat. Yun po.
Yes po.
That's why doon nakabase lahat itong sinabi nyo.
And that is in coordination with Randy De Los Santos being my field coordinator.
Kasi si Kian is one of the 312 na nakalista. Yes, sige po. So, definitely organized na yung data ninyo. Tama?
Yes po.
Apo. So, can the committee request for your organized data?
We will, upon checking po with our lawyers, what we could share and what is highly confidential for their safety.
Ande, sa tanong marami na tanong. Inaano ko lang yung itong nilalagay ko lang sa context yung bakit tinawag natin si Father Flavi as a witness. Kasi although hindi siya namatayan, hindi siya but 312 families ang inaruga ng kanyang organization na program Paghilom at meron kang personal interaction with them. Okay, sige. Salamat. And then meron kang sinabi na, sabi mo, Senador, na sabi, shit happens. Sino yun? Are you referring to?
Yung po yung nabanggit ni Senator Go nung namatay si Micah.
So it's Go? So Senator Go?
Sorry,
Senator?
my apologies.
Senator Bato.
De La Rosa.
Sige, as a matter of right, the Senator can react if he wants to.
Yes, Mr. Chair, thank you. I just would like to put in context. Paano ko sinabing shit happens? Indeed, I said that. Shit happens. Because sa amin sa police, sa military, during operations, when you don't have complete control of the operational environment, you expect shit happens. Yun nga, nangyari nga. Namatay yung bata, tinamaan yung bata. Talagang, for me, for us, shit happens. Nangyari yun. So what's the fuss? What's the fuss about blaming ourselves for... Sinabi ko, talaga nangyari. Hindi perfect yung operation. Hindi mo kontrolado ang environment. May tinamaan na bata. So, anong tawag ko dyan? Perfection happens? There's no perfect operations. Sometimes shit happens. That's what I say that. But that does not mean to degrade the soul, the departed soul of that child na namatay. Ang problema lang sa inyo, Father, You are trying to capitalize my words for propaganda purposes. That's very bad, Father. Masama po yan. Huwag niyong gamitin, you do not take the word out of context para i-propagandize yung isang issue. Ako, sinabi ko shit happens because I'm blaming myself as the chief PNP. Nangyari yang nang hindi dapat nangyari. Namatay yung bata, tinamaan. Really, shit happens. Pero, when the media presented it, when the media articulated it in their papers, wow, iba na. Bato is demonyo na. Na yung bata parang masaya pa dahil lang namatay yung bata. Mali po yun, Mr. Chair. So,
Mr. Chair.
matanong ko lang si Father, when you said that you used drugs for 15 years, ano po yung drugs na ginamit mo, Father?
Shabu po, o bago pa mag-shabu.
Pare ka na noon?
Siyempre, hindi pa ho.
Hindi ka pa pare?
Natural po.
So, 15 years. How old ka nag-start gumamit na Shabu?
Father, ako sagutin niyo. Ako sagutin niyo.
Mr. Chair, simula po ako ng 16.
16.
Opo.
16 plus 15, that's 31. Kailan ka naging pare?
2006.
2006. How old were you? 2006.
31 ho.
31. So meaning, nasa loob ka pa ng seminaryo, gumagamit ka na
Meron
Shabu.
po akong tinatawag na relapse, Mr. Chair.
Relapse. That's good. I congratulate you for reforming your life. And
Salamat
being a
po.
good example. I congratulate you. You are a good example to this community.
Salamat po, Mr. Chair. Pero hindi po ako gumagawa at nagfa-fabricate o pinapalobo. When you said that you do not intend to hurt the feelings of the bereaved, by the word itself, you already did. Salamat po, Mr. Chair.
Well, depende sa inyo yan. That's subjective, Mr. Chair. Kasi sa akin, when I see shit happens, that's for us to blame ourselves. That shit happens. That is not intended for the people or the victim. And
Can we contextualize? Aminado naman si Sento Bato, konektado ito sa 1-year-old na namatay, kaya kayo napasalitang shit happens.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Can we,
3-year-old.
ilan?
Mr. Chair, 3-year-old
3 years old daw.
na nangangarap ding
Okay.
maging police.
Yeah.
Sige, Father, ikaw familiar sa what happened doon sa 3 years old na namatay? Sige nga, so that we will see the
Sa pagkaalala ko po ay ito po ay isang police operation at ang hinuhuli nila yung anak, ay yung tatay, at dahil dito ay nadamay po yung anak, ano? Nadamay yung anak at namatay yung anak. I wouldn't want to give any
Saan po yun?
I wouldn't want to give
Okay,
any
place and then date, and then sa incidenting yun, yung 3 years old lang ang namatay?
kasama po yung ama, Mr. Chair.
Kasama ang ama. So, yun. That is the context, ha? Yan,
Yes.
yan yung context, ha, na nangyari ito.
Yes, Mr. Chair, wala naman talagang pulis gustong pumatay ng bata. Kaya nga sabi ko, shit happens. Tinamaan yung bata sa crossfire. Kaya nga, nangyari yun. But
Father, sa investigation ninyo, official police operation yon, na-confirm na ninyo sa HQ?
It was po. Kaya
Okay, may mga pangalan ng operatives.
I think meron po, Mr. Chair, and ayaw kasi mag-appear po nung...
Paki-organize na lang po yung data kasi
Opo.
isa na yan sa napag-usapan natin ngayon. We are interested in that police operation na may 3-year-old na namatay.
Yes,
kasama ng kanyang papa siguro, papa?
Yes
kasama
po.
papa. Oh, sige.
Mr. Chair, na-autopsy rin po ni Dr. Raquel Fortun ang bata. So, she can objectively provide the truth in this committee. Salamat po.
yeah, Mr. Chair.
Senator Bato.
Another question. Yung inimbestigahan ninyo, Father, ng mga kaso, marami yon sinabi mo. And you have evidences. Meron kayong proof na sabi mo pa nga, binalian ng kamot. Sabi mo, may mga revolver na paulit-ulit na ginagamit as exhibit. Then, sa haba ng panahon, Father, ilan na pong kaso na file ninyo pertaining to those cases that you have investigated? Ilan na pong kaso na file ninyo?
Can I respond, Mr. Chair?
Respond to the best of your ability.
Okay.
Pero hindi naman, I don't think it's the responsibility ninyo to file the cases. Pero sige, yeah, just...
Precisely. The
Mr. Chair, but since concerned siya, advokasya niya yan, he should see to it that justice must be served to these victims.
Hindi po ba mas responsibility ng pulis yan?
Responsibility nga ng police, Mr. Chair, pero sila nag-imbestiga, he's provided. Otherwise, kung hindi siya tumulong para mapile yung kaso na yan, halata ng ginagawa niya, puro propaganda. Nagpo-propaganda lang siya. Nagsasabi siyang ganon. Hindi pala siya interested na makuha ang hustisya. Hindi niya pinaluap sa pulis kung nakasuhan na itong mga gago na ito. Because for one, I want justice to be served. Lalong-lalo na yung mga inosente na pinatay. Dapat talaga, Father. Baka mas pwede pa akong maging pare kung tutuusin. Kasi gusto ko talaga kung if I have the goods, I have the evidence as you showed that a while ago, bali-bali na, halatang binugbog mo na bago pinatay eh. Di ba? So, you should pinaluap mo sana yun, napile yung kaso. Kung hindi mo pinaluap, well, masasabi ko hanggang propaganda ka lang, Father.
Mr.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair.
Father, Senator Risa wants to interject something. Sige,
Brief,
Senator Risa.
salamat kayo, Mr. Chair. Brief interjection lang. May expression kanina na what's the fuss. I think dahil lahat tayo, lahat around the table, ayaw nga natin na may nangyayaring ganito na may batang nako-crossfire. And a good number of us, ayaw din natin ang buong sitwasyong ito na nagkaroon ng EJ case, nagkaroon ng war on drugs. And secondly, Mr. Chair, for the record, ilang beses na rin nagkaroon ng pagdududa sa motibo ni Father Flavi sa pagharap sa ating komite. I think na he doesn't deserve that dahil pinepresume po ng ating komite na all our resource persons humaharap sa atin in good faith. So kung maaari ko lang i-make of record yan, Mr. Chair, na buong loob akong nananalig sa good faith ni Father Flavi sa pagharap sa atin at pagpresenta nung karanasan at ebidensya na meron ang Project Paghilom. For the record, Mr. Chair.
Father, you don't mind being asked these hard questions naman, di ba?
No, except that
Okay, answer to the best of your ability.
Salamat po. And Mr. Chair, I would like to acknowledge the intervention of Senator Riza. Hindi po uso at hindi po nasa bokabularyo ko ang pag-bloat ng katotohanan at pagpapropaganda. Ito po ay ginawa ko sapagkat bago pa magkaroon ng patayan sa nagdaang administrasyon, meron na tayong isang lugar kung saan tinatawag na kalinga. Nagpapaligo, nagpapaaral, at meron pa ngang only rice ang mga homeless. 2015. But when 2016 started and came in, dahil ang pinatay mostly are breadwinners, I was already thinking in advance ang mga naiwan na pamilya, kapag hindi natulungan dahil breadwinners na namatay, they will also end up in the streets. So to address that issue, we created Program Paghilom to help provide the core competence of psycho-spiritual interventions. Yun po ang hugis ng hustisya na nais namin ipaabot. Take note that justice has different facades. Isa lang po ang korte, o ultimate ang korte. But being able to rise up in the morning para magtrabaho, ang anak kahit kandila, magsulat at mag-aral mabuti, para sa akin, katarungan na po yun. Hugis po ng katarungan yon. Now, to address the cases, there are cases that are being addressed. There are cases that have fallen into our hands and they are ongoing. I will not outline it here, but submit the records. Second, if there are really cases of Danlaban, let me now throw this question. Diba ho, sa investigasyon, sa crime scene, ang isang pine-preserve po dyan ay yung barel na ginamit. 6,000 po daw ang laban. So dapat merong 6,000 baril with corresponding documents. One way to let the public know that the war on drugs was real and true to its word, let us see the 6,000 handguns. That's a question po.
Yeah, Mr. Chair,
Salamat po.
if I may,
Senator Bato.
I hope in the next hearing, we can invite the Director of Forensic Service of the PNP para mailatag niya yung whereabouts nitong mga
Take note, yes.
lahat ng mga ebidensya na na-recover. And for the record, Mr. Chair, I just would like to parating kay Father na I appreciate what you're doing, Father. Thank you for what you are doing. Pasensya ka na kung sinabi ko na kung hindi ka nakapag-file ng kaso, parang you limit yourself to propaganda. But then again, you said na may nakapile kayong kaso. And I encourage you, please, file kayo ng kaso. Kasi kawawa talaga yung namatay. Mag-file kayo ng kaso. I am one with you in seeking for justice to these victims. Filean nyo ng kaso.
Salamat po at madami pong kaso na inahabla na po. Salamat.
Thank you, Father.
Salamat,
Mr. Chair.
Mr.
Yeah,
Chair.
before I recognize Senator Risa, can we ask Attorney Dulay to sit here with us? He's the Inspector General of the IAS, para just in case. Yes, go ahead, Senator Ontiveros.
Salamat kayo, Mr. Chair. One follow-up question kay Father Flavi. Father, dun sa pagkamatay ni Mika at yung ama niya, kinonfirm ba ni Doktora Fortune na talagang nagkaroon ng shootout dun sa pagkamatay ng dalawang, yung mag-ama?
Mr. Chair, Senator Riza referring to itong dalawa po. I think
Yes po.
na confirm niya po. I hope I'm right, but please don't quote me. Pero alam ko po na autopsy po ni Dr. Raquel.
Salamat, Father. So, Mr. Chair, kung maaring maimbita din po sa susunod na hearing si Doktora Fortune.
Yes.
Salamat,
Nakaplano na po yan. Nakaplano
Salamat.
na po. Pero doon po kay yung bata na sinabi mo, yung bata na sabi mo na discover ni Dr. Fortune na may gunshot wound.
Yes.
Hindi na yata disputed yun. Ang cause of death ng bata was a gunshot wound. Tama?
Yes po.
Okay, so please clarify. Senator Tolentino, I think, wants to ask
Father, maganda tanghali po, Mayang Utto. Binanggit mo kanina na marami kang senior na mga pangalan, although malayo dito, hindi naman namin mabasa. But you mentioned the words highly confidential. Parang hindi ba lumalabas na yung pag-share mo ng information would be selective, subjective? Paano po ito? Saan ang hangganan na ito? Kung ano lang yung gusto nyong ibigay o kasi ang gustong patunguhan ng committee ito ng hearing ay malaman nga kung ano yan. Pero kung
Yes.
magbibigay kayo ng konti, withhold kayo, paano po yon?
Salamat po, Mr. Chair. Nung sinabi kong highly confidential, unang-una po ay meron po sila kanya-kanyang mga abogado. And I believe that there is also a proper forum kung saan ito po ay lilitisin bukod po dito sa ating magiting na house. So yun po yung context ng highly confidential. If we could and only we could give it all, we would upon their approval po, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Salamat, Majority Leader.
Salamat po.
Salamat. Please stay on in the hearing, Father, kasi kami mga dagdag na tanong pa sa inyo in the course of the other testimonies. At this point, the Chair would like to call on Attorney Dean Chel Jokno to make the presentation in his capacity as the chair of the Free Legal Assistance Group, or FLAG. And the committee understands, Dean Chel, that you have with you a survivor of an attempted extrajudicial killing. So kung maaari pong isama nyo rin po yung kwento niya sa inyong presentation. So Attorney Chel, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair and Your Honors. May I request that the slides be put on the screen? Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Ang kampanyang kontra-illegal na droga ng Administrasyong Duterte ay hindi lang basta-basta nagsimula sa kalsada at barangay. Ang pinagmula ng war on drugs ay isang utos o command na galing mismo sa pinakamataas na opisyal ng Philippine National Police. At yun po ay nakikita ninyo sa right side ng screen. Next slide, please. Ang una po niyang reference sa kanyang command circular ay ang pronouncement ni President Rodrigo R. Duterte to get rid of illegal drugs during the first 6 months of his term. Next slide, please. Sa PNP CMC 16-2016 nanggaling sa Project Double Barrel ay unang-una ito ay ilulunsad sa unang araw ng Chief PNP at pangalawa ito ay may dalawang sangay kaya double barrel po ang tawag, Project Tokhang and Project HVT. Next slide please. Ayan po ang diagram ng double barrel. Project HVT ay high value target at Project Tokhang ang lower barrel. Ano ngayon ang ibig sabihin po, next slide, ng Project Tokhang? Yan yung alam natin ng mga house-to-house visit ng pulis sa mga pinaghihinalaang sangkot sa illegal na droga. Next slide. Ano naman ang Project HVT? Ayan po yung tawag na high value targets, yung mga involved na drug personalities sa international at domestic drug trafficking. Next slide, please. Kaya ang tanong po ay, ano ang pinagkaiba? Anti-illegal drugs campaign ng pamahalaan. Dalawa po ang pinagkaiba. Next slide. Unang-una, may utos sa loob ng command circular na yan na mag-neutralize at mag-negate ng mga suspected illegal drug personalities. Pangalawa, ang utos ay gumamit ng drug list para tugisin ang mga sangkot umano sa illegal na droga. Next slide, please. Siyempre po, alam naman natin lahat, ang trabaho ng pulis ay mag-imbestiga, magkalap ng ebidensya at magsampa ng kaso laban sa mga salarin. Kaya ang tanong ay, bakit nag-iba ang utos sa Project Double Barrel? Imbis namang aresto at magsampa ng kaso, bakit neutralize at negate ang iniutos ng CMC 16-2016? Imbis na magkalap ng ebidensya para sa korte, bakit drug list ang iniutos nitong command circular? Next slide, please. Paulit-ulit po ang utos ng command circular na ito na mag-neutralize. Mismo sa purpose ng circular nakalagay na dapat i-neutralize ang mga illegal drug personalities sa buong Pilipinas. Next slide, please. At sa loob ng circular, nandiyan po naka-highlight sa dilaw, yan yung mga paulit-ulit na command to neutralize and to negate. Next slide, please. Wala naman po sa batas ang salitang negate at neutralize. Kaya libre ang pulis na unawaan ito base lamang sa kanilang sariling interpretasyon. Kumbaga, Your Honors, ay bahala na sila magpasya kung ano ang ibig sabihin nito. Ang tanong po ngayon, siyempre, ay ano ang pagkaintindi o pag-unawa ng pulis sa utos na mag-neutralize at mag-negate? Next slide. Ang mga susunod po na salitang paggamit ng neutralize at negate ay galing mismo sa mga opisyal ng PNP. Next slide, please. Si PNP spokesperson, Senior Superintendent Carlos noong 2016, mismo ang nag-announce noon na ang ibig sabihin ng neutralize ay pinatay o killed. At mismo siya nag-announce na papalitan na nila sa mga report ng double barrel. Imbis na killed, ang ilalagay nila ay neutralized. Next slide. Ang mga susunod naman ng mga police reports ay sinulat at nanggaling mismo sa mga units ng PNP sa Santa Ana, Manila. Makikita dito, paulit-ulit din nilang ginagamit ang neutralize kaugnay ng Project Double Barrel at ang pagpatay sa suspect dahil umano siya ay nanlaban. Ito po yung isa. Next slide, please. Ito ay isang information report galing sa PNP Santa Ana. Elements of Santa Ana Police Station will step up for the suspect's immediate apprehension and neutralization. Kung ang ibig lang sabihin ay hulihin yung suspect, bakit pa dinagdag ang salitang neutralization? Next slide, please. Yung suspect po dito ay nailagay sa isang drug watch list at medyo maliit lang, pero may makikita kayong handwritten notation sa tabi ng pangalan niya, killed, at yung petsa kung kailan siya pinatay. Next slide, please. And one more, next slide, please. As predicted in the PNP information report, ang tatlong suspect, Mr. Manawis at 2 bunuan, ay na-neutralize o napatay sa isang bypass operation dahil sila raw ay nanlaban. Next slide, please. May hawak pa po ang flag ng mga 20 sets pa ng mga police reports galing din sa Police Santa Ana na ganon din, halos eksakto word for word ang paggamit nila ng salitang neutralize. Ang nakita po namin pattern, una, bago magsagawa ng police operation, na-identify na yung suspect bilang target for immediate apprehension and neutralization. Pangalawa, halos lahat sila ay nasa drug watch list. Pangatlo, nung nagkaroon daw ng bypass operation, lahat sila ay nanlaban at pinatay. Next slide, please. Pero hindi lang po ang Santa Ana Police ang gumagamit ng neutralize, pati sa Tondo, meron din po. Next slide, please. Ito ay sa isang operation tungkol sa pagkapatay kay Rex Apari, died during police operation. The operation resulted in the neutralization of the suspect. At hindi lang po yun, next slide please, si Colonel Espenido na nandito po ngayon ay nung tumestigo sa Quadcom ay umamin na ang ibig sabihin na neutralize ay kill. Next slide please. Tinanong po siya ni Congressman Owaminal, does that include referring to neutralization? Colonel, na ang pagpatay sa target, ang sagot po, kasali na, Your Honors. At hindi lang po siya, next slide please, pati ang PDEA Chief, si Director General Lasso, ay inamin din ng ibig sabihin ng negate at neutralize ay kill. Next slide please. Tinanong po siya ni Congresswoman Luistro, can you please enlighten us ano pong ibig sabihin ng negated? Answer ni General Lasso, it is neutralized, Your Honor. I mean, he was killed already. Negated for the case of Mayor Halili would then mean that he is dead already. Yes, Your Honor. That is why it was neutralized already. Sagot, yes, Your Honor. Next slide, please. Ibinulal din ni Colonel Royina Garma sa Quadcom ang reward system na itinupad sa Duterte drug war. Hindi ka na po babasahin ang lahat ng nasa sinagot niya, pero ang sabi lang niya, may reward po yan, ang Davao model ang kanilang sinunod. First is the reward if suspect is killed, second is the funding of planned operations, and third is the refund of operational expenses. At gusto ko lang pong i-emphasize ang sabi niya, rewards were only given for killings, for arrests, only reimbursement of expenses.
Kasulukuyan pa rin ho tayong nakatutok dito po sa pagdinig pa rin ng Senado sa war on drugs ng nakalipas na administrasyon. Kung saan ang nagsasalita po ngayon ay si Attorney Chel Jokno, isang human rights lawyer at ang bilang bahagi din ng Free Legal Assistance Group. Balikan ho natin ang hearing.
Kaya sa tingin ko umabot sa 20,322 ang napatay nung una pa lang 17 buwan ng drug war. Ang numero pong 20,322 ay galing mismo sa Korte Suprema, isang extended resolution at ang sinasite nila ang 2017 Year-End Accomplishment Report na galing sa Office of the President. Next slide please. Marami pong mga kamag-anak ang lumapit sa amin sa flag, kamag-anak ng mga EJK victims. Pero marami din sa kanila ay natatakot magsampa ng kaso dahil malamang baka balikan sila o yung mga kamag-anak nila. At kahit ngayon, marami pa rin pong takot dahil many of those involved or responsible ay naka-uniforme pa. Next slide please. Pero meron po kaming isang testigo na kasama po ngayon, isang survivor ng EJK, si Roger Herrero, na nung siya ay binaril, akala ng pulis siya ay patay na, nakahanap siya ng tulong, nadala siya sa ospital, nung nalaman ng pulis na buhay pa siya, kinasuhan siya ng robbery, nakakuha siya ng acquittal, dinismiss ang kasong robbery laban sa kanya, at siya naman ang nagsampa ng frustrated murder laban sa mga pulis. Na-convict po ang 4 na pulis of attempted murder. Ito po ang picture ni Roger Herrero at nandito po siya sa loob ng ating session hall. Roger, kung maaari.
Tayo muna ay magbalik sa mga nagaganap ngayon sa Senate hearing. Diyan pa rin ho sa pagharap ni dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte.
Agad, sinagot na kita extensively doon sa debate na yun. Kaya nga siguro ako nanalo. Ginawa akong senador ng taong bayan dahil nasagot ko yung tanong mo na yun. If I will give you the Google meaning of neutralize, ito pong nakasabi. It is a verb. Render something ineffective or harmless by applying an opposite force or effect. So ano ibig sabihin yan? Render something ineffective or harmless by applying an opposite force or effect. Ano yung opposite force or effect na sinasabi? Yan ang sinasabi mong negation. Negation operation. Paano gagawin yan? Kasi sabi mo, gusto mo magpulis-pulisan eh. Gusto mo yung term ng pulis, talagang insist yung gusto mong meaning eh. Yung negation operations ay pagkakandak ng operations against the suspects. Pag magkanda ka ng operations, chances are na pwede mo siyang maaresto, pailan mo ng kaso para makulong at hindi na siya makapag-commit pa ng further crimes. Ineffective na siya sa kanyang mga criminal activities. Ngayon, sabi mo patay. Yes, pwede mayroong mamatay dyan sa neutralization kapag ang suspect ay lumaban sa operation because by all means, ang police has to defend themselves. Self-defense. Ewan ko. Tanungin natin itong mga former chief PNP kung ano ba talaga ang meaning ng neutralization. Dahil alam ko, police, military, at maraming organization gumagamit ng term ng neutralize. Binibigyan lang kasi ng masamang meaning nitong mga anti-Duterte na people. Ngayon, kinukot mo pa yung PDEA director na yes, he's free to make his own meaning, his own definition of that term. But ito ngayon, tatlong former chief PNP, Mr. Chair, can I ask General Gamboa, when I say neutralize, anong ibig sabihin yan? You have the floor.
These three former PNP chiefs came after the PNP chief Bato. So tama. So,
correct.
Yes.
And if indeed that memorandum that I signed, cited by Attorney Jokno, was true, then they were covered by that memorandum. And I would like to seek their opinion as to the intent of that memorandum. Is it really killing? Otherwise, kung gusto kong patayin yung mga suspect na yan, bakit pa ako gagamit ng neutralized term? Gagamitin ko ang to kill. Bakit ko pa gagamitin yung term ng neutralized, Mr. Chair? Can I hear from General Gamboa, Mr. Chair?
So in order sa kanila, sige, who came sige, ganito sa records ko, no, after naging chief Albayal, after Bato de la Rosa, Albayalde, Gamboa, Cascolan, Sinas, Eleazar, Carlos, Danao. Ganun na nangyari, sige. Okay, the question of Senator Bato, he wants to direct it first to at ito, lawyer pa pala itong ating lawyer, former police chief, Attorney Archie Gamboa. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. First, I'd like to put everything in the proper context because if you only deal with how Attorney Jokno has interpreted the Command Memorandum Circular, you will have that kind of bias. Now, as an opinion, there are at least 3 laws that prohibits disclosure of classified documents. There's NAPOLCOM Circular 2016-002, There's Republic Act 3019, Section 3. And there's Republic Act 6713, Section 7. All of this prohibits on the part of the government employee to divulge plans like this. For your information, that plan that was presented is classified as confidential. There are limits to the access of that. Why? Because while it may not endanger national security, peace and order, and public safety, it might be prejudicial to the interest, prestige of national government activities. It may cause administrative embarrassment. It may cause unwarranted injury, and it may be advantageous to other nations. I am telling this because first and foremost, those documents are not supposed to be accessed by the public. But this responsibility lies on the government employee themselves. Pero ito, wala na tayong magawa, Mr. Chair, dahil lumabas na siya. Now let's go back to how policemen would interpret this. Before we became members of the Philippine National Police, we were members of the Philippine Constabulary. And the word neutralization can often be found in operational plans of the military. It's always there. So probably, as we transition to the now Philippine National Police, we carried the same interpretation. Now, if you look at the entire CMC, the Command Memorandum Circular, in the coordinative portion, it emphasizes respect for human rights as embodied in the 1987 Constitution, respect for police operational protocols. It's all there. So if you take it in its entire context, you don't necessarily mean neutralization is killing. Because it may cause, no? There's a question of bakit nag-iba ang shift ng strategy ng PNP to double barrel? Bakit merong tukhang, merong HVT na sinasabing nagde-determine ng drug list? When you are a member of the military, even in our campaign against the insurgents, we always start with the order of battle. The order of battle is the list of suspected communists, be it armed guerrilla or even legal fronts. Because this is where you start your work. Because if you start from nowhere, where are you going to go? That's why in our campaign against illegal drugs, we start with a drug list, those that are listed. And then from there, we develop strategies first to look at them, maybe if we can file the appropriate cases or conduct probably bypass operations. Ang mahirap kasi if you take this into just one context and one page. Actually, I have listed that during the CMC 2016, there was a mention 4 times, page 3, page 12, page 15, and page 16, and negation in page 5. But if an ordinary policeman would interpret this, it means it will still be based on how the law operates. As a chief PNP and as a lawyer, I would not allow that it will go out of the bounds of the law.